Have you ever stood in your kitchen holding a container of leftovers, thinking, this should be fine, right? Maybe it's last night's rice, a piece of chicken you didn't finish, or that comforting cup of tea you warmed up again this morning. It feels harmless, practical, even especially if you grew up believing that wasting food is never an option. But what if I told you that some of the most common foods seniors reheat every single day can quietly harm your body in ways you don't immediately feel? Not dramatic, not instant, but slow, subtle, and dangerous over time. This is something many people overlook, and it often goes unnoticed until the body starts sending warning signs. I've seen this in patients who did everything right. They walked regularly, took their medications on time, and ate home-cooked meals. Yet they still struggled with unexplained fatigue, digestive discomfort, and even worsening heart or memory issues. And when we look deeper, the problem wasn't always what they were eating, it was how they were eating it. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive. Digestion slows down, the immune system weakens slightly, and habits that once seemed harmless can begin to have a bigger impact. That reheated plate of food you trust every day may not be as safe as you think anymore. But here's something most people never hear. Not all reheated foods are bad. In fact, some foods actually become healthier, easier to digest, and even more beneficial when reheated the right way. That's the surprising part many people miss. So today I'm going to walk you through both sides of this story. We'll uncover the 3 worst foods you should never reheat, foods that may quietly affect your gut, your energy, and your long-term health if you're not careful. And then I'll show you 3 foods you should absolutely reheat, because they can support digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and even help your body absorb more nutrients more effectively. These are small changes, but they can make a real difference over time. By the end of this video, you won't look at leftovers the same way again. You'll understand your body better, and more importantly, you'll know exactly what simple habits you can change starting today to protect your health. So before you microwave your next meal, stay with me, because what you're about to learn could quietly transform your daily routine in the best possible way. Now let's gently uncover what's really happening inside your body when certain foods are reheated. Because once you understand this, everything starts to make sense. Think about food not just as something you eat, but as something alive with structure. Proteins, natural compounds, delicate nutrients, they all have a specific form when freshly cooked. But when you cool that food down, store it, and then heat it again, that structure begins to change. And in some cases, it changes in ways your body doesn't handle very well anymore. Let's start with one of the most common foods found in almost every kitchen: rice. Many seniors cook a pot of rice and then reheat it later without a second thought. But cooked rice, when left at room temperature for too long, can develop certain bacteria that survive even after reheating. These bacteria can produce toxins that don't simply disappear with heat. This is why some people feel bloated, uneasy, or even slightly nauseous after eating reheated rice, even though it looks perfectly fine. And here's something important: this doesn't mean rice is bad. It's about how it's handled. If it's cooled slowly or left out for hours before refrigeration, that's when the problem begins. Most people don't realize this because there's no obvious smell or sign. That's what makes it tricky. Now let's talk about another everyday favorite: chicken. Reheating chicken isn't always dangerous, but it can change the protein structure in a way that becomes harder to digest, especially for older adults. You might notice this as a heavy feeling in your stomach or mild discomfort that you can't quite explain. It's subtle, but over time, your body feels the difference. There's also a common myth that, as long as it's hot, it's safe. That's not entirely true. Heat can kill many bacteria, yes, but it doesn't always remove toxins that may have already formed. This is where many people unknowingly put their health at risk. Now here's one that surprises almost everyone: leafy vegetables like spinach. These are healthy, no doubt. But when reheated, certain natural compounds can convert into forms that may not be ideal for your body, particularly if you already have circulation or kidney concerns. Again, it's not about fear, it's about awareness and balance. But before you start worrying about everything in your fridge, let me reassure you, not all reheating is harmful. In fact, some foods become even more beneficial after cooling and reheating. This is where the story takes a positive turn. For example, foods like potatoes or certain grains can develop something called resistant starch after being cooled and reheated. This type of starch actually supports gut health and helps control blood sugar levels. Many seniors who struggle with energy dips or digestion find this incredibly helpful once they understand it. And then there's soups and stews. When reheated properly, they often become easier to digest because the ingredients have had more time to break down and blend together. Your body doesn't have to work as hard to process them, which can be a quiet relief for your digestive system. So you see, it's not about avoiding reheated food altogether. It's about knowing which foods to be careful with and which ones can actually support your health when prepared the right way. Because once you understand this balance, you're no longer guessing in the kitchen, you're making informed, confident choices for your body. And in the next part, I'll show you exactly how to do that in your daily routine. Simple habits, smart choices, and small adjustments that can make a big difference in how you feel every single day. Now let's bring this into your daily life, because knowing the problem is only half the story. What truly matters is what you do differently starting today in your own kitchen with the habits you repeat every single day. Let's begin with something simple yet powerful. The moment you finish a meal and you know there will be leftovers, don't leave that food sitting out for hours. Give it a little time to cool, but not too long, and then store it in the refrigerator. This one small habit can significantly reduce the risk of harmful bacteria forming, especially in foods like rice. And when it comes to reheating, try not to do it more than once. This is a very common mistake. Many people reheat the same dish again and again throughout the day, taking small portions each time. But every cycle of cooling and reheating puts more stress on the food's structure and on your digestive system. A better approach is to reheat only the portion you plan to eat. Now think about chicken or other protein-rich foods. Instead of blasting them on high heat until they're steaming hot, try reheating them gently. Lower heat, a bit more time. This helps preserve the texture and makes it easier for your body to digest. You can even add a little moisture like a splash of water or broth to keep it soft and less heavy on your stomach. For leafy vegetables like spinach, the safest habit is actually very simple: cook only what you need. Fresh is best in this case. If you do have leftovers, it's better to consume them cold in a salad or avoid reheating them repeatedly. This small adjustment can quietly protect your body without making your routine complicated. Now here's where things get encouraging. Let's talk about the foods you should feel good about reheating. Cooked potatoes, when cooled and then reheated, can actually support your gut health. That resistant starch we mentioned earlier works like food for your good bacteria. So instead of avoiding leftovers, you can use them wisely. The same goes for whole grains like oats or brown rice, when handled properly. Cool them quickly, store them safely, and reheat them just once. These can help stabilize your blood sugar and keep your energy steady throughout the day, which is especially important as you get older. Soups and stews are another wonderful option. In fact, many people notice they taste even better the next day, and there's a reason for that. The ingredients continue to blend, soften, and break down, making them easier on your digestive system. Just make sure they're stored properly and reheated thoroughly. One more gentle reminder: trust your senses, but don't rely on them completely. Food doesn't always smell or look spoiled when it's no longer safe. So building these small, consistent habits is far more reliable than guessing. Because at this stage of life, it's not about strict rules or fear, it's about awareness, balance, and respect for your body. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just a few thoughtful adjustments can help you feel lighter, more comfortable, and more in control of your health. And in the final part, I want to bring this all together for you. Not just as information, but as something meaningful you can carry with you every day, a simple way to protect your health, your energy, and your independence for years to come. You know, when we talk about health, we often think about big changes, strict diets, complicated routines, expensive supplements. But the truth is, some of the most powerful changes happen quietly, in the small choices you make every single day. Standing in your kitchen, choosing how you store your food, how you reheat it, how you care for your body without even thinking twice. These are the moments that shape your health over time, because your body is always listening. It remembers how you treat it. It responds to the little habits, good or bad, day after day. And as the years go by, those habits begin to speak louder than anything else. But here's the comforting part. It's never too late to make a change. Even if you've been reheating food the same way for years, even if no one ever told you these things before, your body is incredibly forgiving. The moment you start making better choices, it starts responding. Slowly, gently, but surely, you may begin to notice small changes first. Less heaviness after meals, a calmer stomach, more steady energy throughout the day, maybe even better sleep. These are the quiet signals that your body is moving in the right direction. And it doesn't require perfection. You don't have to be afraid of every leftover or question every meal. You simply need awareness. Knowing which foods to be careful with, like rice, chicken, and certain leafy vegetables. And knowing which ones can actually support you when reheated properly, like potatoes, grains, and nourishing soups. This is not about restriction. It's about empowerment. It's about understanding your body in a deeper way, so you can support it, not stress it. Because at this stage of life, your goal isn't just to eat. It's to nourish, to protect, and to preserve your strength and independence. So the next time you open your fridge and reach for those leftovers, pause for just a moment, not with fear, but with knowledge, with intention. Ask yourself, is this helping my body or quietly working against it? That one simple question can change everything. And if this message helped you even a little, if it made you think differently about something as simple as reheating food, then I want you to know you're already taking a step in the right direction. Stay with us on this journey. There's so much more your body wants you to understand. And we're here to guide you, one simple step at a time. If you found this helpful, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd truly love to hear from you. What's one food you often reheat that you'll now look at differently? Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.